You work for 7 years for this edition and it comes to an end. And then you realize that everything that you were working for 7 years now, it's over.
It's done.
It's done. It is really emotional. And the whole team goes through 2-3 days that... and then we hit the road for the next one.
I cannot imagine what it is planning an Olympics in a whole city.
It's beautiful. We are responsible for things that are happening outside of the stadium. Flights, transportation, accommodation, ticketing, their events, everything. The preparations start many, many years ahead. And then you have situations like, oh, they were supposed to build a second tower, but the city did not give the permit. So, whoops, suddenly we lost 150 to 100 rooms.
Was there at any point in your mind thinking that you would be where you are today?
No.
Not at all?
No. Look, one day, GM in a Marriott, maybe ended up in the group, but I could never imagine that I will be in the business events. A young kid from an island in Corfu that was watching the Olympics on the television, like, I wouldn't let go. The moment that I had this opportunity, I said, yes.
Thank you for that intro, because I think maybe we can go into, that story. So, Panos, give us a bit of your background. So, where were you before you joined Les Roches, and why did you decide to take that trip and come here?
So I'm coming from a fairly small island in Greece, from Corfu, and tourism for Corfu it is the A and Z of what all the Corfuians are dealing with, and this is what we are proud of hospitality and welcoming tourists. Mm-hmm. So my family has nothing to do with tourism. Okay. They are all basically lawyers, and I was the one that didn't really wanted to become a lawyer. And we looked around and we discovered that looking what will be the potential from Ireland and from Greece, it was hospitality industry and tourism industry. And we looked for the best schools, and that's how I ended up actually in Bruges and Les Roches. I didn't know, so it's funny because I didn't know. It was my first time that I was coming to Switzerland. And that's why for me this trip, coming from an island in Greece, and driving through Geneva, Lausanne, Montreux, you're still okay. Lake, nice, beautiful. Okay. And then you come into Valais and, and you go like, whoops, all the mountains. And then white, I was winter bad, so it was January. So you can imagine everywhere snow. And then we start coming up the road and I'm going like, what is here? What's going on?
I can imagine.
But it was mainly actually as my father pushed me. He says, "Look, your personality and the future in Greece is tourism and hospitality. So give it a try if you don't want to become a lawyer." Okay. So in a way, it was something that was proposed to me by my parents, and I accepted, and that's how I ended up. And I never regretted it. Never regretted it.
Well, I mean, you can tell by the way you carry the name proudly. And I think it's all related to what we mentioned, because it's true that one of the things that we've seen throughout Les Roches, and something that really connects our students to the campus, is that, it's not just about your professional development, but I think Les Roches is really here to support your personal development and make you grow as a person. And I think, I'm guessing you were 18 years old. Or,
yes, exactly. So, exactly. I was very young. Very young, yeah.
So, at that age, you're still trying to identify who are you, what do you want to do? And I think that, Les Roches really is there to support you in that process.
But, funny you say so, because, when you arrive, you see, Les Roches, it's not just a school, it's a way of life. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you're 18 years old and you're arriving and you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah right. And then you look back and it's just like, damn, it was really, it changed my life completely. It is a way of life.
It is, yeah. And I mean, we can hear that from the alumni stories, and fortunately, I think the current students are also feeling that. So what I love about what Les Roches is a way of life is, I think it's something that no one can describe, and that it's also something personal to each and every one of us. But at the end of the day, it actually connects us to each and every one.
So, you're absolutely right. Everybody feels it differently, but there are some common denominators that actually links us all together. Yeah. It speaks differently to each one, but at the same time, the ingredients are the same.
Yeah. absolutely. So 18 years old, you arrive here. Obviously, you put on your
my best behavior.
best behavior,
exactly.
and, best student.
Best student. Yeah. you learn how to be polished every morning. Yeah.
And did you have the red Ferrari suit to clean dishes?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I still have mine somewhere
Yeah.
as well. So that really is something that we all remember.
Exactly.
So I mean, you enter here. What were your expectations or hopes? To what would you think you'd be working in?
So back then when I started, I really thought that I will come out, which in a high degree at that moment it was true, with how to become a very good hotelier.
Okay.
Back then it was about, if you want, if I may say, pure hotel management. Okay. So I was coming here and I was starting, and you were getting exposed to everything that is happening in a hotel. And you had this idea that at the end, I'm going to be a very good, knowledgeable, and with all the right ingredients hotelier to start my career in the hotel industry. This and it is at the same time, it is, some will say, a quite simplistic view, but you realize very soon that being in the hotel industry, it's so broad that basically you're touching on everything.
Correct. Yeah.
In hospitality, tourism, hotel, restaurants, everything.
Yeah. No, it really opens up, and it obviously fast forward to 2025 where we are today, and hence all of the programs that we are delivering, and seeing as well the broad, let's say, different industries where our alumni are currently working, because obviously you can apply everything that you've learned here at the end of the day in any type of business. So
and then I mean, and yes, you in a way, if I may say, you're absolutely right, because the basic knowledge that you get about everything, it doesn't block you into only the hotel industry. And in a way, I want to believe that I'm kind of a living proof, because I worked in hotels for a very short period of time. But through this, I discovered the event management, and I immediately, since then, I never deviated. I mean, the business events and corporate events all my life.
Well, we'll absolutely dig into that, no? Because I think the idea today is also to learn a bit about, your trajectory and where you went through. But let's still keep a bit in the past, which was not so long ago, no? What year did you graduate?
91. Well, 91. It is long ago.
It's funny. I when we have alumni reunions, I start asking people, in what year did you graduate? And some of you say 91.
Yeah.
And I say, can the 91 stand up? And younger students stand up. I say, no, not the year of your birth.
Yeah, exactly.
What year did you graduate?
Yeah.
Because it's true that our generation today is, students that are enrolling now were born in 2007, no? So
I mean, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's wonderful. It keeps us really, really young at heart.
Exactly.
So, you did obviously some internships during your time, and can you tell us where you did them? And I think what I'm going to try to do now is try to build on how you discovered that you wanted to enter in events.
Yeah. So actually, my first internship, it was in Zermatt for service. And I went up to Montserrat in Zermatt, and I had a very good experience, because there it was back then, the restaurant of Montserrat, it was one of the very good restaurants in Zermatt, and we were doing really high-end dinners. And of course, I was a commis, but I had a very good maître d'hôtel that he was treating stagiaires not only as the commis, but whenever there was something special that was happening. And I will never forget when somebody ordered a Mouton Rothschild, and you had the sommelier that came, and he had to open it because it was an old one. The maître d'hôtel comes, he says, "Look, you have to see this." And I stayed there next to him to understand, which it was unique back then for us. For us. Sure. So afterwards for kitchen, actually, I went back to Greece.
Okay.
And it was a friend of the family that he was actually opening his own restaurant, the second restaurant. And together with a colleague, with a student here from Les Roches, we went to help actually the first summer of opening. In Greece, the restaurant, and we were working with the chef like his commis. So two students from Les Roches helping the opening of the restaurant, that was a quite tough experience, because when you're in a restaurant that it's doing their opening and it is their first season, I mean they need really good chefs and chef de partie and everything. So it was tough, but it was very rewarding.
Yeah.
It was very.
I'm sure you learned a lot. Those are the best times. On
exactly.
how to really learn when you're under pressure. You know? So.
And the last year, management year, funnily enough, I went in Lausanne and I worked for Fassbind Hotels, which they're still there.
Yep, correct.
And funnily enough, now I'm back living in Lausanne. So
full circle.
Full circle. And there, very very soon I started at the reception, but then because we went very well and they liked my style of life, they proposed me actually a small extension.
Okay.
I had to go back to Greece for my military service, so I couldn't get a full extension. But they offered me a small extension as all by myself as a night audit. So it was, if you want, my first real experience as a job,
of course,
being night auditor,
taking care of the hotel at night.
Taking care of the hotel at night, and you see things, huh? And,
and well, that's another episode to know what
exactly.
you see at night.
But that was also very rewarding because suddenly you start getting confidence in yourself.
Of course,
people they think that you're ready for quite an important responsibility.
Yeah,
and also you discover a lifestyle which. It exists. It's a reality. Living in the night, and working in the night, and actually sleeping in
the day. Of course. Yeah.
And then afterwards, I went back to Greece for my military service because it's still mandatory, so I had to do it.
So I'm guessing with the discipline that you had here at Les Roches, you were completely ready for the military. No?
Yes. Yeah. Let's put it like that.
Let's put it that way. Okay. Wonderful. So obviously you do your military, and then you start. Again, building your career from there. And I mean, where did you start then?
So after my military service, I wanted to give it a try to Greece in the hotel business.
Okay. Back in Corfu.
Exactly. And then there was a big resort hotel that actually offered me a very good position as a F&B manager. We quite heavy job with. Quite few outlets. There were 3 restaurants, there were 2 bars, and there was a beach bar. So as an F&B manager, I have to say that it was quite a big responsibility. And it was also the first time that they had an F&B manager. Okay. But the owner and general manager of the hotel believed a lot in the idea of bringing new ways of doing things.
Of course.
And this is actually what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to review the whole operation and start giving them a new way and how we can not make it better, but maybe, if you want, synchronize the whole system.
Yeah.
It was the first time that I had to make also some very tough choices on people.
And how old were you then?
I was about 23, 24.
Okay.
Sorry. It was some hard choices on human resources. And this is another, if I may say, stepstone in your career, because the first day that you have to face somebody and to tell him that unfortunately we will end your contract.
It's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. But all of us, at a certain moment, we were faced with this situation, and I hope that most of us were faced being the ones that we are announcing, either than being the ones that they tell us.
Exactly. Well, fortunately, But and I'm guessing from your career, and I'm also talking about my own experience, it doesn't get easier.
No.
I mean, it always is quite difficult, no. But it's true that I think maybe you can let me know. At 23, with those tough decisions, how do you think you are doing that now? I mean, in terms of managing, let's say, your mental health, no?
And
because
your emotions,
at the end and your emotions, because it's quite difficult. No?
First of all, I'm a big believer that when you need to announce bad news, you have to do it yourself. You don't have to hide behind any system or any. If it is your decision, you have to be responsible and accountable for your decision, and you have to be strong enough to look the people in the face and to tell them, because sometimes it's not about an individual, it is a decision of very structuring much larger. And if you believe, and I know that now it might sound a little bit philosophical and a little bit, but if you believe that the decision that you're taking at that moment, it is for the good reasons. Now, that doesn't mean that it is the good reasons might be the good reasons for the company or the good reasons for you. But if you really believe that you're taking this decision for the good reasons, then you have to stand up, face the people, and say it straight in the eyes.
Yeah.
You have, at the end of the day, you need to be able to look yourself in the mirror and you know that whatever you did it for the right reasons. Not everybody will agree with you. It is impossible.
Absolutely.
But you have to be okay with yourself.
You know, that's a very important point, because being okay with yourself, I think, is something that we never get master of, because it's a constant,
it's a learning,
exactly.
It's a learning.
And when you're 23, it's hard to forgive yourself or to be okay with yourself.
It's sometimes also it's an advantage, because you don't realize sometimes the consequences.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put now a small caveat. At 23, if you don't have a family, you don't understand what the impact of losing your job might have to others.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you get older and you grow into your career, there are other elements that come in and make this particular situation more difficult for different reasons.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I think it all comes down to shaping you as a leader to be able to do so. At Les Roches, we really are seeing that there is a need to really work on yourself before being able to lead others. So we're launching a program that is in relation to self-leadership.
Oh, good.
And we're taking all of these aspects, which maybe at 23 and back then was not so relevant, and you weren't sure about it.
Soft skills back then, it was not something that anybody was talking about.
Yeah.
Soft skills. You were lucky enough to have a coach and a mentor that will get you into this sphere of soft skills, or it was only about hardcore work and results
and get through it.
Exactly.
That's it's true how it has evolved, and it's true that today, fortunately, we're able to have the right tools to try to grow as a better person. At the end of the day, So let's fast forward a bit, because hotels, F&B director, which is wonderful, because you really gain the operational side, and I don't know if you agree, but I think everyone should go through an operation of those sizes.
Oh, definitely.
To be able to and then take on further roles.
Definitely, and we should not forget the basics, because sometimes I do talk with young people, and of course there is an expectations that I graduated and I have now a BA or a diploma or a master's or whatever, and I need now to start ruling the world and manage teams.
Yeah.
Yes and no. If you have never been managed, even not in a good way,
even the bad ones, are good lessons.
It gives you a better way for you to manage. So I'm not saying that you should always stay in operations for the rest of your life, but you need to go through this step. And coming back, I made a decision that actually back then brought me, if you want, back, because at a certain moment I decided that I wanted to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
And back then, now we are talking about internet and emails were not yet really very big thing.
We still had faxes.
Exactly, still faxes and letters. And I will never forget, I'm having some experience, some background, and I decide after 2 seasons in Greece, I want to go back outside in Europe to work. And I started writing letters, and all the answers had the major issue that the younger generation is not facing, that it's very difficult to get the interview, because back then they wouldn't fly you somewhere for an interview, there was no Skype or anything.
Of course.
So thank you very much, but unfortunately from Greece it's very difficult to cooperate, or they were finding an excuse, overqualified. So it took me a long time. And I found a way through my uncle that was based in Brussels.
Okay.
And I took the decisions to quit everything and go to Brussels. And start looking for a job from Brussels, because it was much nearer to travel to Paris, London, all the neighboring countries. And it was really tough.
Yeah.
And that's when there's something amazing that is happening. I was working, because of course you have to live at a certain moment, and you don't want to live on the back of your parents forever. I'm start working as extra, as a temp.
Okay.
As a temp, and I will never forget, to a Renaissance hotel.
Okay.
in Brussels,
Yep.
which the building gets bought by Swiss Hotel at that time.
Okay. Yep.
And the new management comes. And of course, the new management back then, they start looking at who is working and what. And suddenly I receive a phone call from the assistant GM of the hotel. Mr. Tzivanidis, can you come up to the office? I says, have you studied in Switzerland? I said, yes. Have you studied in Les Roches? Yes. And have you done this and this? And he says, what are you doing as a temp in the banqueting department? I said, well,
I'm trying to find
I
my
needed to leave.
woman. Yeah.
He says, tomorrow you report to the sales office.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Literally. And that's where I'm always saying hard work and a bit of luck is not bad at all. And
Agree.
you need to not be afraid to do any job until you find your way.
Yeah.
That was a big, if I may say, a big milestone in my career.
Changing moment of
everything.
Your,
So I'm becoming, I will go a little bit fast and you will understand what I'm saying. I'm becoming sales at events in Swiss Hotel. And I get SWIFT as one of my clients.
Okay.
And the CEO of SWIFT, he was so happy and we got together like that one day he says like, you know what, my director of events from SWIFT is leaving. I want you to come and work with me.
Wow.
So my client becomes now my employer.
Yeah.
And I stayed with SWIFT for 15 years.
Okay. Which
which
brought you to where?
Which brought me to where, and then
Yeah.
headhunting to Switzerland, and here we are.
I think that's a fascinating story because it's, let's say you never worked for the position.
No.
You just showed up and, as you said, hard work. And, we can define what luck means, but luck doesn't come without, putting hard work.
You have to put hard work.
Yeah.
You have to put hard work. And if I may say something else, and which I think it is very relevant for the younger generations, accountability.
Absolutely.
Accountability. You should never be afraid to be accountable for anything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it will come back at a certain
moment.
Yeah. You cannot cover yourself behind anything. You need to be accountable for every decision that you're making and for every choice that you're making.
So that's a highlight for the podcast for the new generation. You need to be accountable for sure, no? But and that's a beautiful thing, no? Because as you said, you just do your best wherever you're doing. It could be as a temp, as a commis, or in your sales job. And for me, that piece of luck that you say, actually, it's someone noticing the aura that you project as a hardworking person. Yeah. And when the right person comes and sees it,
exactly,
they take it, and you're maybe not. I'm sure you have some ambitions, or you had ambitions at the time, which is normal, no? But it's not the wrong type of ambition where someone doesn't want to give you the opportunity.
Exactly.
So that's a very good lesson, I think, and I think we can only see it when we look back, no? Because when you at the moment. You don't really appreciate it.
No, you don't appreciate it. Like when, and I can say, I mean, in one of the companies when I worked, because I fast forwarded a little bit, but there were steps in between. But, you also need, and it is on you as well, it's not only on the other side, you need also to see who can be your coach and mentor. Uh-huh. And it is important also that your coach and mentor are, I see you and I believe that you're going to be my very good mentor, but you also need to want to be my mentor.
Absolutely.
And I was very lucky that in one of the companies I had the director of comms, because events was under the comms, and she was a lady that we went through a very difficult situation with one of the employees.
Okay.
And she saw that I stand up for my values and I was not ready to give in.
Okay.
And I was even ready to quit if things were not changed for the right reasons, for my reasons, and for my values.
Yeah.
And again, she immediately saw this as a tremendous, valuable asset for the company and for the team.
Yeah.
And she started helping me, coaching me, mentoring me. She asked me not to leave and that things will change. And indeed, things did change.
Yeah.
And then since then, I say I owe a lot to her as well.
Yeah.
But I will never forget, I was ready. It's what I was saying before. You need to feel okay with yourself.
Yeah.
And when I was discovering certain things that they were against my values. I was not afraid to stand up. And there you go like, okay, yes, we'll see how it will end.
That's being okay with yourself. I'm finding that out, in different roles that I'm having as well. And it is quite important. But you realize that when you move forward and you start gaining a bit of, I'm okay with myself, everything else opens up.
Yes.
In the right way. So you're at Swift, you're doing events like crazy,
the major event was Cybos. It was a big conference and exhibition that it was a yearly one that was traveling around the world.
Wow.
So this was if you want a big highlight, because me and the team were responsible for the finding of the destinations, for making the proposals to the board, for doing all the contracting. I've been around the world with Swift and Cybos.
Okay. And was it always in a sales role though?
No. Now I'm director of the whole thing, of the whole event, whole event.
Okay.
So it is the team. We are organizing the whole Cybos from A to Z, from selling the exhibition, building up the exhibition, the conference, everything.
Wow,
everything.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, can you say how many people you had under you, or was it a huge team?
Back then, the permanent team, it was, if I remember well, about 25 people.
Okay.
But then, of course, for the event, we had a lot of companies and partners that they were working with us.
Yeah.
So we're becoming something like 200 people at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. And this went. I started there as a simple event manager in the whole team. Then became head of a section of the exhibition, and then the director of Cybos left and eventually became the head of Cybos.
Okay, wow.
Which the event is still going on, and it is one of the biggest B2B financial events in the world.
Events that are happening today. Yeah.
Funny, yesterday I met I met one of the younger alumni.
Yeah.
And she told me, I know this name, and she says, Hong Kong. And I said, well, if you remember from Hong Kong, it's only because of Cybos. I was working at the Grand Hyatt and I have this bizarre thing. I remember everyone who is signing contracts with us, and you had signed a contract with us. And I said, like, yep.
Wow, amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's true. Yet, it all connects. We were talking about, nowadays you walk into any hotel and there is a Les Roches.
Yes, you said it yesterday.
Student. There's a high probability that's going to happen. So let's get into, let's say, where you're in today, because I think, and as I said at the beginning of the podcast, we're honored to have an alumni, that is with a career that you have, And so, just for the listeners, what is your current position today?
So, first of all, there are many alumni with tremendous careers.
Agree.
I have to say this because sometimes I'm also seeing some other alumni friends with the career and what they have accomplished, and some they have decided to go their own way, private, and do their companies, and they're doing amazing things. Yeah. But now,
First of all, I want to thank your humbleness, which is a beautiful thing, And the second thing, I'm happy that, and I agree. I mean, we have incredible alumni with incredible careers, which for the sake of this podcast is wonderful because we have so many episodes to go through, and I look forward to maybe welcoming more of these incredible alumni stories, as you said, either through hotels or other industries or their own personal way. So, but thank you for your humbleness. But let's bring out where you are today. Yeah.
So after many years in many different things, I mean, I was also blessed to have a lovely family, and by the way, I need to make this promotion. My son also is an alumni.
Well, you spoiled my last part because I was going to bring that to the listeners.
But family is also very important in supporting what you're doing, because there is a moment that you need to do you need to take career decisions, and family needs to be behind you. Yeah. And that was also one of the defining moments when, from Belgium and Swift, I got the opportunity to move to Switzerland through a headhunting. Okay. Through a headhunter. And initially it was for UEFA, the European Football Federation, doing Champions League and Europa League. Yeah. But then I got the opportunity to work for the Olympics. Okay. And being Greek, I mean, there is, and I'm saying this because for me it is really, I mean, a young kid from an island in Corfu that was watching the Olympics on the television, like all of us, like, wow.
Because I'm sure Olympics are lived differently in Greece than the rest of the world.
Of course, exactly. And now suddenly I get the opportunity to work for the Olympics. I mean, it was an opportunity that I couldn't let go.
Of course,
I wouldn't let go. The moment that I had this opportunity, I said, yeah. I mean, yes.
Why not? Yeah, for
So
sure.
now I'm working for the IOC here in Lausanne as Director of Corporate Events and Services.
Okay.
Which is a big department. We are doing a lot of different things. And I will try to summarize it.
Yeah.
So we have actually 5 main, in my department, there's 5 units that we have 5 distinct kind of stream of activities. One is what we call institutional events, which you can say that it's the equivalent of corporate events. So we're doing the IOC session, which is kind of the General Assembly. We do the executive board meetings. We have all the medical events that IOC is organizing, all the conferences that IOC is organizing or participates around
that lead up to eventually the.
No, it's
not necessarily.
It's not necessarily.
Okay.
They are linked to always sports, games, athletes, well-being, always related with the Olympic movement. But not necessarily directly linked with the games. Indirectly, yes.
Okay.
Then we have a second unit, which is Olympic activities, and there it's a team that is dealing with all events and services that they are during the Olympic Games. I will come back to this. We have a third stream, which is corporate security. Nowadays, corporate security, it is very important element. So we have our chief security officer who is dealing about, he's heavily involved in all of the security elements of the games.
Wow, that must be tough, huh?
It's a big job for him as well, but there is tremendous coordination also between countries and authorities. It's an amazing collaborative effort. Then we have what we call welcome services and hospitality, which this is more linked to the museum operations, because the Olympic Museum, all the operations and the welcome services and the shop and the catering, it is under a different unit in my department. And the last one is the facilities management, FM, for all. So these are the 5 units within the department.
Wow.
We're a total of 99 people in the department.
Okay.
I am, again, as always, and this is not, it's not semantic. It's reality. You're as good as the team around you.
Without a doubt, yeah.
This is not, I mean, whoever says, no. The choice of the people that you're working with, it is the most important choice you will ever do in your life.
Yeah.
And I am really very, very happy to have a team of management, the leadership, that we are getting along and we are fully complementary.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm very happy because we are a department, and this is for me the biggest accomplishment for somebody in the leadership role.
Of course.
People come to the office and they're happy to come to the office.
Well, congratulations on that. It is definitely.
At least that's what they tell me. Huh?
I've heard differently. No, I'm just kidding. But, and that doesn't, I think you would agree, that's not in a book.
No.
Where step 1, step 2, step 3.
No.
It actually is just a consequence of everything that you went through, of dealing with so many types of people at the end of the day. And that just makes you, or gives you experience to be able to achieve that.
And it's a trial learn, huh?
And many times we fail and we need to learn from it.
And here also, when you're building teams, this is also something that I believe strongly. The recruitment process is of utmost importance, because when you recruit, you're not only recruit competence, but you recruit also team members.
Yeah.
So you have to take the multidimensional aspect of the recruitment in place.
Yeah.
You're recruiting somebody that you want to do a job, but you recruit also somebody that needs to fit on what the team collectively has built.
Yeah, very interesting. How old were you when you joined UEFA, for example?
2011.
Okay.
It was 2011. I stayed at UEFA only for 2 years because the IOC opportunity came too
But is
quick.
it linked, UEFA and the IOC?
Well, all the federations in the sports world, it is a bit linked, yes. But, from the finance world of SWIFT, it was a big jump for me to move to UEFA.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, when I moved to UEFA, so now I'm coming from a huge company like SWIFT that our events are everywhere in the world, to UEFA, which has tremendous amount of quantity of events, but they're all
only in Europe.
Only in Europe. So, people were saying, "Oh, I have to go again there and again there." And for me, it was like, okay, we go to London, we do the meeting, we come back. Because back then there was traveling for meetings; it was a different thing.
Of course, yeah.
When I was not used, but I had done things like going to Sydney for a meeting and come back, telling me to go to London.
That's it's like taking the bus and
exactly
just for a ride.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the IOC opportunity came
straight after.
But you see, even at UEFA, it was a fantastic introduction to the sports world, to the federation world, to this whole. It is an amazing world. The sports world. It is amazing. It is really amazing.
Did you have interest in sports back then, or?
Yes, but not to the degree that some people that they love football or they love the Olympics so much that they want. Absolutely, I will do. I've heard many times. I'll do any job just to work,
be there,
to work for there.
Okay, it wasn't your case though.
It wasn't my case.
Yeah,
and I always, and even now I'm saying like, I work for sports, but I'm not necessarily the most sportive person. But I am the one who's trying to create the best environment for the athletes to excel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, in a way, you're influencing that, no? Yeah. Okay.
Tiny. There's other people that they're influencing it much more. But it is true that it was a different learning about how the whole ecosystem is working in sports. Very good learning experience at UEFA in Europe, and then with IOC going in a global.
So, moving back to 92, was it your
91?
91. Was there at any point in your mind thinking that you would be where you are today?
No,
not at all.
No. Look, I mean, 91. I could see myself. Which can we say name of brands? Or
absolutely,
not?
Yeah,
okay.
please.
So back then, I'm still. Sorry for anybody who will not agree with me, but I'm still a kind of a Marriott brand fan.
Yeah.
Okay. So back then, when I graduated, I was like, one day GM in a Marriott, maybe ended up in the group. Back then Marriott was much smaller. It was not all the brands. It's not what it is today. Or then I was thinking, I'm going to get experience in Asia, because Asia was starting already back then to be the hot spot. But I could never imagine that I will be in the business events or in the or the MICE industry. This started really when I started working for events, that I got the virus. And I believe that business events and MICE, you either have it or you don't. It is one of these things that once you get taste of it, you might stay forever, because it is a crazy world, or you will you don't like it and you will use it maybe as a passing step for something else. But no, 91, it was like GM in a big hotel, but in one of these huge resorts, maybe in Las Vegas or in Asia. This is what you're thinking.
Well, it comes to show, no, that you come in and back then in 91, effectively, Les Roches was really focused on hotels. I did the same track, where we all had this dream of being a GM or working in one of these hotels. But what you learned back then, and then the experience that you have in hospitality, can take you to something such as your current role. And we are definitely seeing that studying in an institution like ours gives you the opportunity in what we call the augmented hospitality.
Yes.
Basically, hospitality is everywhere.
I like this augmented hospitality. Yes.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying. I think hospitality today is embedded in any industry.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So let's come back to your role and how you are taking your hospitality experience, to your day to day, or what is your day to day? If you can.
Well, I mean, the day to day. First of all, is day to day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me try and think what is. I think that it starts like many people. Okay, I mean, you will wait. I'll try to make this classic movie. You will wake up in the morning. You will start saying. Actually, the night before, you will start preparing your next day, and then you go. There is a lot of meetings. There is a lot of coaching. There is a lot of traveling, but at the same time, this is also something that you learn. The more you grow in your career, the more you you learn that you need to devote time to people and not to tasks,
Yep.
because actually people need your time,
Yeah.
need you to listen to them, and either to offer advice or to offer solutions, or sometimes even to take the burden out of them and to say, okay,
Don't worry.
let me deal with this.
Yeah.
Let me do the necessary. So there is a lot of this, and it is linked also with my style. Goes a lot with empowerment.
Yeah.
And I also, in the last 10 years that I got a bit older, and I'm saying this to many of the speeches that I'm doing, I believe in the younger generation. And I believe that when we were young generation, not completely, but in some way, we were the cheap hands that they were taking us to do a lot of tasks
Yep.
that the managers didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe that the younger generation today, it's more mature to do the tasks, but also to do tasks plus, as I call it.
Yeah.
But we are not ready because we were groomed in a way that you're receiving instructions on what to execute.
Yeah.
We were groomed like that. So it's very difficult to empower the younger generation and to allow them to do mistakes.
Yeah. Because of what we have
of our experiences. So I tried very hard to empower and to give this empowerment even to the younger people that they're coming to the department, which then you change completely your role from what I was saying before. But these people need your time afterwards.
Of course.
So my day, it is, unless a normal day, it is a lot of meetings, a lot of coaching, discussions about the future events, and discussion about the future of our department.
Yeah.
And then there is always the big meetings with
the top people,
the top people that then and phone calls that they happen with emergencies here and there. It's a full day, but usually it is a very nice day. You're talking with your people, and you're planning and you're doing. And then when we have an event, we are there.
Yeah,
we are there all together.
Which you're coming out from a recent Olympics.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So
in Paris.
In Paris. So I'd like to touch a bit on that one since it's quite recent. No, as you said, the event is ongoing. It's nonstop. So much planning. How do you go through that? Because when we create events on campus, or you speak to students that are in the events class, and sometimes it's overwhelming, and all you need is just where is the bar, what is the food, and what is this. But I cannot imagine what it is planning an Olympics in a whole city.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, I imagine.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you have So first of all, we are in my department, just to put it also a caveat, and we are responsible for many aspects, but for a certain very specific population that goes to the Olympics.
Okay.
I will oversimplify, but for example, we are responsible for things that are happening outside of the stadia. Okay. So for a specific group of people, which is it's the Olympic family, as we call it, which is approximately 3,500, 4,000 people. We are responsible from A to Z, from flights, transportation, accommodation, their events, their incentives, ticketing, their accreditations, everything. Okay. And then all the IOC events that are happening during the games.
Of course. Okay.
So we are involved on everything that is happening on the periphery of the games, with many events. I mean, some of the highlights of the events, of course, we have a general assembly before the opening ceremony. One of the highlights is the head of state's dinner just the day before the opening ceremony. In Paris, it happened under the Pyramid of Louvre, which is amazing because it is a dinner with all the head of states of the countries that they're representing there.
Okay.
And then all the accommodation, all the hotels that you have to contract it. So the preparations start many years ahead.
Yeah.
So for example, just to give a small example, the hotels with the ones that we are going to be working in Los Angeles, they're already being contracted. It's already been decided.
Amazing.
And then you have situations like, they were supposed to build a second tower, but the city did not give the permit. So whoops, suddenly we lost 150 to 100 rooms.
Of course.
That's fine.
Yeah, because a lot can happen between one Olympics and the other.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Finding the venues for all the different events,
Yeah.
and then start finding the right partners, because of course you will need to partner with local companies, or we have some partners that they're traveling with us, if I may say, from edition to the edition.
Okay.
And then don't forget that for the most of the people, they're only focusing on the Summer Olympics, which is every 4 years.
Yeah.
But in between, we have the Winter Olympics. Next February is in Milano Cortina d'Alpenso.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And we have also the Youth Olympics
as well.
So next edition of the summer, it is in Dakar in Senegal.
Okay.
So for us, and this is the interesting part of what my department is dealing with, for us, summer, winter, or Youth Olympics, the population and the type of events that we are taking care are almost the same, irrelevant of if it is the summer edition or the winter edition or the Youth Olympic edition.
Yeah. Okay.
So after you go through this planning phase, approximately 2 weeks before, the whole team moves to destination. Execution. And we always have this. Now it is the moment that we just want everything to start, because that planning, it comes to an end.
Of course, yeah.
And then from the moment
you're already excited
you're already excited
go,
to start delivering, delivering.
Okay.
And this is the beginning, as we call it, the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And heavy workload. It's work hard, play hard. Yeah. Okay. This is the motto of our industry.
There was a recent post, and funny enough, there's someone else from Les Roches that works with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. As well from Greece.
Exactly.
And I saw a video recently, and you can find it on our social media, where you effectively say work hard, play hard.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because that's also what you learned here at Les Roches, right?
Indeed. and it keeps you, in a way, it keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
It keeps you grounded. Because if it's only work, eventually it will not. You will burn out.
I can imagine. Yeah.
You will burn out. And then you come at the end of the Olympics, which I can tell you that it is. We have the Olympics blues, some people.
I was going to say it's emotional, no?
It's extremely emotional. I mean, you worked for 7 years for this edition.
Yeah.
Everything went very well. Actually, Paris, everything went extremely well.
Yeah.
And it's not only what our department and what our events happen, but the whole organization around the Olympics, it was phenomenal. It was very good. And it comes to an end. And then you realize that everything that you were working for 7 years now, it's over.
It's done.
It's done. It is really emotional. And the whole team goes through 2-3 days that.
Yeah. Wow.
And then we hit the road for the next one.
Of course. Yeah. Which is the beautiful part.
Yeah.
Well, everything you mentioned of what you take care of is directly linked to hospitality.
Completely.
No?
Completely.
So, what would you say to someone that is starting their career now at Les Roches and maybe have an interest in those particular?
Well, I would say exactly what I said to my son before he started Les Roches, that, you get, and that's why I loved when you said the augmented. It's not what you learn here at the school.
Yeah.
This is only the ingredients. It's how you're going to cook the ingredients afterwards.
Yeah.
And it will take a combination of real life experiences and the experiences that you made here.
Yeah.
And the advantage is that be alert, because through the years at Les Roches, you will also realize what is more interesting to you. And then you can start cultivating this aspect. And then you will go out to the real life and you will see if what you like matches with what is happening outside in the industry, and you will start calibrating.
That's a very, very interesting reflection, because what I usually say, and people ask me, should I study at Les Roches or not? It's true that nowadays, when you join Les Roches in first year, it's okay not to know what you want to do.
Exactly.
And you'll discover that as you go through.
Yeah.
And one of the success rates that we have is, it's not necessarily, as you said, you finish Les Roches and you become a GM, but what we are seeing is that your career progression is quicker.
Yes.
And I think it's related to that, because when you finish your studies here, you kind of know where you want to go and what you want to do. And I think that's a great example.
And also it's very interesting, because when you come out of here, you have learned the power of networking. The challenge we have, and this I'm talking now with my personal experience, you're very good in networking, but you don't know it yet. Or some of us, when we go out, we don't know it, and we don't bank on this networking a lot. And I also had said it in one of the speeches for the graduation. I had said, don't underestimate the power of networking. I did this mistake. So at the beginning of my career, I did not keep so close contact with my fellow
Alumni or
alumni
batch.
or of batch. And then I realized, I will never forget, I'm in Singapore. I remember distinctly one trip in Singapore, and I'm at the Ritz-Carlton, and I see two of my batch working there in good positions in a hotel that I was trying to contract, and it was tough negotiations. I'm going like, gee, why I did not keep contact with them?
Yeah.
It could have been so helpful all around the world.
Yeah.
So we are very good because we are networking in Les Roches.
Constantly, yeah.
And then we are living Les Roches, and most of us, we focus so much on the career that we forget our network. And then when we go forward with our career, our network is coming back. So I'm asking everybody, don't break this, don't lose this period of networking from your colleagues, because you never know where you're going to end up.
You know, what we're saying now is, Les Roches is a way of life, is what we always say. But Les Roches is a way of life for life.
Yeah.
And, the reason we're here as well on this weekend is to reinstate that engagement of the alumni with the school and the campus. But thank you for that message. And it's something that I think everyone that has gone through Les Roches should remember. No,
I think that on the last year, I think Les Roches they should get a special kind of introduction to the power of network.
Yeah.
Of the alumni.
Yeah.
I think it should become a standard
course.
Standard course.
As you say, you never know when it could help, and it will come always in the moments that you least expect it.
Exactly.
Maybe,
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Let's so a father,
Yes.
which I'd love to bring up, because your son studied at Les Roches.
Yes. And it was not, and I want to precise this, it was not because I push him or anything. Actually, he was thinking what he wants to do exactly, and I literally proposed him to go around to different universities and schools that he was thinking on different sectors, not only on hospitality. And I think that he visited Les Roches, and I think that he visited some other schools. He didn't like them.
Yeah.
And then he visited Les Roches, and he says, "Yeah, I think I'm going to go there."
That's a wonderful story, because of alumni and new generations. I relate to you, and I'll ask you off camera and off podcast for some tips, because my daughter is joining Les Roches now in September. And again, we didn't push her at all; it was her own decision, which I think is beautiful. No, but I also heard that you also gave a wonderful surprise, because I think when he graduated, he didn't expect you to be the speaker on that day, right?
That was my biggest, I have, again, to be very honest, I don't mind public speaking.
Yeah.
But when Les Roches told me to be the speaker at his graduation, it was like, wow,
yeah, emotion,
and you better do a good speech.
Well, I heard it was an epic one and a beautiful one.
Yeah, I think so. He knew it. He knew it just before the graduation. But I think his friends didn't know it. So they saw the name of the speaker coming up, and suddenly they started looking at him. It was extremely. For me, it was one of the highlights of my life, honestly. Speaking on the graduation of your son, come on.
What else can you ask?
What else can you ask?
Yeah. Says someone that organized how many Olympics. That's beautiful, and I think you did highlight it in the podcast how important family is for you. To make sure that. To be there throughout your career and grow together.
And our profession is not, any part of our profession, on hospitality, on hotel management, on events, business events, there are professions that they are harsh for the family. You're traveling a lot. There is last minute travels. There is extended hours. There's sometimes no weekends. And even in hotels,
agree.
We chose an industry that still operates on no time zones and
no fixed hours,
no weekends, nothing. So family has to be playing along and understands,
understanding as well.
Exactly.
Is your better half, let's say, is she in hospitality as well?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
But when we met.
Yeah.
When we met, I was doing morning breakfast room service. So I was leaving home at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock to go and start doing the mise en place for carrying
the trays,
the trays in the rooms.
I feel for you in that role. That is a difficult one. And how many times you bring a tray and say, why didn't I bring more sugar, because he asked me for double sugar, no?
Or you mix the order.
Oh my God, yeah. That's a difficult one. I think we have to have a lot of empathy for the breakfast staff at hotels.
Exactly.
Because everyone uses that service, huh? Yeah. Well, it's no, how to say this. I'm not surprised that you have a wonderful team and that you're leading a wonderful team, because to be honest, it was a true pleasure to speak to you and seeing your values. I'm really grateful for the moment that we've had this morning.
I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
No, it's and I really hope that and I know you will inspire future generations, to follow your path, or to at least find their own. But through some of the things that you shared with us today in the podcast is inspiring for them. And as I said, I would love to work with you, to be honest, Panos. It's
Thank you.
Really,
why? Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. And we are, no? We are
exactly,
with Les Roches
exactly.
and the Olympic Committee. But it's a true pleasure, and I understand why people work with you and you make things happen. It's you can really tell. And
thank you.
For those of you that are listening, I hope one day you can actually meet Panos. For alumni, I would suggest that you come to the reunions, because you always try to make it.
I always try to make it. And I was a bit last year. I was planning also to come, and then there was a last minute trip. It is a difficult period always. I mean, this spring it's a difficult period for everybody. For you, but there's no right. This is the other thing. There is no right time for. This is another thing. I'm trying to participate to as many events of our industry.
Of course.
I'm a board member of PCMA, the big association, and I'm trying to participate. But you also have sometimes to be. Time has become of extreme importance, and I think that people, and this is also something that I'm saying for the events industry. People are becoming much more conscious of the value of their time. So where they put where they invest their time, it becomes a very important decision. And I also sometimes have to make a choice about events.
Of course, where to go and what to do. Yeah.
For example, they were calling me like, "Are you coming to IMEX?" I said, "Guys, I cannot come to. I cannot. We cannot be everywhere.
Everywhere, of course.
So I'm trying sometimes to rotate."
So what an honor that you decided to come to the alumni reunion.
No, come on. I start. When I moved to Switzerland, for me it was a tremendous opportunity to start coming back to school.
Of course. Yeah.
And sometimes I'm saying I'm only 1.5 hours away. So
that's true.
And I had said to everybody of the team, I'm always there for you. And
well,
anything the school needs.
You know that on behalf of Les Roches, we're extremely grateful, Panos, for your collaboration in the past. Since forever, to be honest. And it's really great to have you on this podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I maybe, is there anything you want to share with whoever, let's say the future generation or the current students or alumni? Anything?
You put me on the spot now.
I am putting you on the spot.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't prepare this.
But I think we're also looking for a highlight so that marketing have it easier.
Yeah, it has an easier one.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I will say is that. Be truthful. Be truthful. Be truthful to yourself, and be truthful to the teams and to the organization that you're working. I always said, and maybe it is a bit. When you work for an organization, I consider that there is a 3 elements to be on the perfect environment. You believe to the mission of the company, you believe to the one who's leading the company, and you believe to your direct manager. From the moment that you have all the 3, you're in a perfect situation.
Yeah.
From the moment you have 2 out of 3, you believe in the mission. You might have a perfect leader of the organization, but not a very good direct manager. But from the moment that you have 2 out of the 3, you're still okay, and you can influence the future. When you're in an environment that you have only 1 of the 3, be truthful to yourself and start wondering, Can you change it? Or if not, you need to make some tough decisions. So be truthful to yourself.
Wonderful highlight. Thank you very much. I've learned so much as well from you today, Panos. And as I said, it was, we're here in the lobby of
which has
Crans-Montana,
changed tremendously. Which has changed from 91.
It has changed a bit, yeah. And we're lucky enough now to go to our alumni barbecue that has been planned outside. But I couldn't have spent my Sunday morning any better than just by being inspired
Thank you very
through
much.
this chat. Thank you very much, Panos.
Thank you.
We'll speak soon. Let's do a part 2 of the podcast in a next reunion, maybe.
After the Winter Games, after Milano and Cortina d'Alpenzo.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm a selfish kind of person with a soul trying to fly. I aim to break the laws of nature.